It may take years for a new medication to get approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In fact, many promising treatments fail to clear the FDA hurdle. And for some patients, access to approved treatments can literally be a matter of life and death. Here now to discuss the FDA approval process and its impact on a group of children with a rare and fatal disease are Dr. Strober and Caregiver Julie. Doctor, why is it difficult for a new treatment to pass FDA approval?
Well, to get the information that the FDA is looking for, we have to do clinical trials. So we have to test the drug. We have to make sure that it's safe, make sure that it has benefit for the patients who are going to get it. And to do these trials, you need millions and millions of dollars to be able to run the trials. And then you also need to be able to have the time over which the trials are run, and you have to find the patients. And when we're talking about a rare condition such as Duchenne muscular dystrophy, where there's maybe less than 10,000 people in the country who have this condition, it could be really hard to find the people who would qualify for the trial, who can make it to the trial, or who even feel like they want to be part of the trial. And so that can really add more time to the whole process as well.
Doctor, when a drug doesn't get reviewed or receives a complete response letter, what happens? Can the company go back to the drawing board?
Well, the company can always go back to the drawing board, but the problem is that they've already spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of resources. And the patients who have been in the trials before can't just go back into the trials, because we need to have new patients who haven't been exposed to the drug. So a lot of times, if that's the case, they just kind of, unfortunately, the drug just kind of gets thrown away and we're done with it.
Julie, can you share your son's story with us?
Yes, my son is 25, Nick. He has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It is a progressive muscle wasting disorder. It affects the heart, the lungs, and the bones as well. Just to give you an idea, Nick lost the ability to walk at 15 years of age. However, he's considered a slower progression than most. Most will lose ability between 8 and 10 years of age to walk. At 25 years of age, they can't even turn themselves in bed, turn on a light switch, or raise their hand to say hello. So they require 24-hour, 7 days a week care. It can be pretty devastating for families. It's catastrophic, not only emotionally but financially, to meet their needs, their care. It's important for them to be a part of the clinical trial for the drugs to find out whether or not the drug is working. We can see what works and doesn't.
Julie, how hard is it to keep hope alive while waiting for a promising treatment to come to the market?
It can be very hard, very frustrating, heartbreaking, especially if there is a drug that does show promise. It does show that it is working, but it doesn't meet exactly what the FDA is looking for. Just for our families to get involved into a clinical trial, the screening process, they have physical limitations at times, so that, and by physical limitations, because they don't walk, they may need, excuse me, devices like Hoyer lifts to assist them. And there's also getting to the clinical trial. For me, it's about a 3-hour drive just one way to get there. So families have to have that ability to do that. And for the patients, it can be painful too at times, depending on the type of clinical trial. So there's a lot of sacrifices that go into those clinical trials. And so if there's a drug out there that is showing that it is helping, but FDA is going to discard the data, and it's good data, and a lot of money, millions of dollars went into it, it is heartbreaking. It's not only for those that are in that trial, but those that are waiting for the drug that qualify but couldn't get into the clinical trial. And I just wanted to really point out too that there are conditions, because it affects the heart and the lungs, that we learn those people with those medical conditions could also possibly benefit from that drug as well. So we need to keep that data. It's so important.
Dr. and Julie, what can people do as a community to get their voices heard?
Well, there's a lot of things people can do. They can go out and they can talk to family and friends about what they're hearing today. They can go and talk to their senators or their congresspeople to ask for more support for these rare conditions and for the research that goes into these rare conditions. There's larger groups that they can become part of and help out that provide support for patients and their families, as well as lend a bigger advocacy voice. Muscular Dystrophy Association, for example, is a great organization, as well as Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, which concentrates more on Duchenne. They actually have a great website, parentprojectmd.org, that people can go to for more information.
Julie, is there anything you'd like to share for parents and patients who may be waiting to get a drug approved?
I just want to say get involved, join organizations. Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, parentprojectmd.org was a lifeline for my family. It gave me a voice to get out there and feel like I'm doing something with a condition that I was originally told was hopeless. There is hope. There's a lot going on. And as we grow stronger, we can really help as a community. Thank you.
You're welcome. Doctor, is there anything you'd like to add that we did not cover?
I think that, again, it's just really important for people to understand the process, to understand what these patients and their families are going through, and how hard it is for everybody on all ends to get through this process.
I'd like to thank you both for taking the time and joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.